The following program is brought to you ad-libbing color on DOA. And good evening, everyone. I'm Babbleverse, newscaster emeritus, or meritless as I like to say it, from the DOA network. To my left is the latest prodigy of all-around studentism at Surprise University. Football player for the SU varsity team, as well as poetry editor for the school literary annual, and top choice for the next generation's evening newscasting hero, Mr. Ty the Letterbox Down. Hi, Bab. It's indeed an honor to be with you now for this pledge drive for subscribers. And this is a new thing at DOA. Greg and Nolan of Babylon Theater, who now administer my scholarship and sign your paycheck too, eh, Bab? Well, that's right. The Chick and I, it's the thrill to have our old friends be our bosses. I would like to say hello to Chick up there in Washington Apples.
Hi, I'm Chick Utley. I'm sitting here with... Hi, I'm Rember Werver. If my name is hard to pronounce, just think I have a twin. His name is Member Werver. And if you can remember, you can remember. See how easy that is? So, Chick, I am so excited to be here. This is my 8th year in graduate school because what I'm doing is difficult.
Hello, Mr. Utley. It's at least as wonderful to meet you as it is to meet Mr. Snurr. An intelligent boy, a charming boy. Tonight we are excited to have the opportunity to premiere the new Babylon Theater film as the entertainment for this historic first DOA pledge drive. Even the loners can get a close-up is the name of it, and from what I've heard, this may be the most intimate portrait of themselves the B-Boys have yet attempted. Well, it must be quite a show then, Bab, because last year's Babylon Theon was intense. Yes, I remember at that time thinking to myself, I'm seeing something revolutionary here. We've got a top team of telephone talkers out in the kitchen. Remember, all you need to do is say yes to becoming a subscriber to Greg and Nolan's YouTube channel. And so let's get started with that movie. Chick, Bab, and viewers at home, the new show starts out right away in a surrealistic vein. There's satire and parody enough for every viewer. Just call the number you do not see on your screen and pledge your subscription to the Babylon Theater channel on YouTube. And we'll see you back here in a little while.
It's because we have had such great writers in the past, the writer is driven far out past where he can go, out to where no one can help him.
I just really wanted to have a little chat with you today.
Oh, it's so good to have you here, Miriam.
I'm really glad we got together at this reunion. So nice that the Bab boys are being so more friendly than they used to be. Huh?
Well, and they are, and I'm glad too, because we were distant for so long.
I'm Sandy Beach, inventor of the Beach Boys. I've been following the Babylon Boys for several years.
Is this thing working?
A couple of years now, because they said I was a liar.
But the nice thing is, Miriam, the way things turned out and all that brouhaha between us and the boys,
Right.
I felt like I finally became my own person.
No, I'd really like to answer that question and appreciate you all. Every single theonite in the whole broad arena of theater.
It looks like they're all in this room right now.
Well, it does, and thank you for coming. And you ask, and Greg and I are going to say what we think about. What do you think of Babylon Theater now, or what do you think of the Babylon Theater?
I never wanted to be a person.
I just want to say that I always thought that the Theonites were Babylon Theater because that's the only way we know them. We know you from your work in Babylon Theater. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I don't think anything's changed. We've always believed that y'all are Babylon Theater.
Hello, Lee.
Sorry, Bab.
Good morning. This is the Chicken Bab Minute on the DOA Morning News Show. Last night, a whole school of delicate little fishies was apparently run down by the Queen Bailey as it was pulling out of Long Beach Harbor, and this has sparked riots, if not actual marches, all up and down the West Coast today. This tragic school of fish who are probably on their way to school.
Makes perfect sense.
Why would they call it a school, I guess? Now back to you, Bab. Chick.
And you may notice that both Bab and I are wearing ties today because even though we're on vacation, we do what, we're working here now.
We're professional. We're already always ready to go on the air.
The reason we bring this to you is if you're watching this at this time of the morning, you probably don't have much of a life, and we want you to know that we do have a life. I was looking through the arts section in the news today, and all these movies coming out, great stuff, music, albums, and so forth.
Yes.
And if you don't have a life, just hearing about them can be good. I've sort of taken up my time here, so you're not going to hear about them from me.
Oh.
But trust me, Real life is out there, and I know
We try to,
we don't have the largest audience anymore,
yeah.
but when one thinks DOA, one thinks Chick and Bab. This is Bab and Chick.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Instead of a supporting character.
Right. When I read your book, when it first came out, I read your book.
Oh,
And I bought it, in fact, at the bookstore, and paid full price for it.
I think the big controversy is that you think you're something else, and I hope we resolve that. Because I, Greg, still think that when you get down to, where does the box stop?
And
thank you, Mary.
And this was okay, but it inspired me, and I tried to write my own book at that point. I said, if Ethel can do it, I can do it. And
Oh, well, thank you. And I hope you do, Miriam, because you have a good story.
Ralph has always had an image problem with himself.
Well, he comes across well on camera.
Oh, thank you, yes.
But it stops with us.
If you're walking or driving through your town and you see a bright light off to the left, it's the light of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, shining down from one of the observatory platforms on the campus of Surprise University. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the light coming straight out of the new atmosphere of cooperation, which is filling the air around just you and the whole town lately. Introducing the insurance underwriters who have provided the coverage for this event. I'm Mary. I'm Jerry. I'm Larry. And I'm Harry.
Thanks for taking a minute to sit down with me, Ethel. As the de facto spokesman for the Theonites, I felt you would be the best person to approach on this topic. Some people are saying that the Theonites are only visible to Greg and me, and that certain cameras pick you up and you become visible and audible to other people in video recording. What do you say to that? Oh yes, well I can see you and the others very clearly, and I'm sure the same holds true for Greg. I just wondered if you were aware of this. And I know there are people who say if it is true that Greg and Nolan are crazy. Well, yes, that's true. They have always said that. Well, I'll let you go. Thanks for talking with me, and enjoy the rest of your time here. Thanks, Ethel. You too.
Hey, see?
Howdy. Go. Yeah, it's free country.
It is free so far.
Whoa.
Oh, that's kind of Babylonian. It seems like they might do that.
They might, yeah, indeed they might.
There's a lot of
I can
stuff they
tell you.
do that I'm kind of new to me.
Yeah, I wish it was new to me too. Unfortunately, I was there at the very beginning.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait a minute. You're calling me Joe.
that's right.
Wow.
And you are
I'm Caesar. Render unto.
Caesar.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, it's like that.
You're,
It's like
you're,
that. I'm with you.
How we should. You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I've been, I'm a best boy. Surprise you.
Oh yeah,
I work for
yeah.
Nate. I don't know if
Right.
you're more like, I don't know, are you DOA? Or are you Babylon?
I'm Babylon.
Yeah.
I'm original Babylon, but I was on their DOA movie last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just for a
Yeah.
minute, but it was a really good gig. You know?
Yeah. Well, how is that? I mean, working with the B-boys and all the other Theonites.
It's well, the Theonites are one thing, but the B-boys, they're something else. They really are. Something else.
What are they?
Oh, they're something else.
Something else.
I mean, they're not like regular actors. They're not like regular writers. They're something else.
Are you looking in that mirror?
You're on now. I'm on now. Is young Caesar Render Unto actually looking at the camera and seeing a mirror? And what does Joe see? You won't have to wait long to find out, because the next scene is right around the corner. Hi, it's Letterbox again, your wide-receiving literary critic for Babylon Theater. Here we have what may be the crux of the biscuit, as Zappa or somebody used to say. The B-Boys have decided that they want to get to the bottom of another unsolvable conundrum. Is it real? Is it imagined? Does anybody care? You know, I don't think they really want to know. It's the educator in them that makes them want to be that way. And for that, I give them a thumbs up, just like you should. And I'd like to offer you a special invitation to subscribe tonight while you're watching this program, just like I'm going to do right now, as soon as I get off the bench. That's a little sports joke, folks.
I'm Sven Yatalk, Program and Director for DOA, and I am here with the phone volunteers who are actually set up in the kitchen of the house we're using for our casual style pledge drive. And I have with me here one of our phone volunteers whose name is Buttercup, and I'm sure we would love to hear the origin of that name.
My parents were hippies, but if that isn't reason enough, on the day I was born in 1971, my mother's best friend came to see us at the Buttercup Birth Center, and she brought a flower arrangement, which, believe it or not, included some buttercups. She said it was just a lucky find, but get this. The night before, my parents and I had seen Gilbert and Sullivan's The HMS Pinafore, which has the song, I'm called Little Buttercup. Anyway, the story goes that after they related this, they all smoked a little Acapulco Gold and got very, very stoned. Anyway, they knew they just had to name me Buttercup. The coincidences just seem so incredibly cosmic.
Wow, that's amazing. But that's all the time we have for our pledge drive break. Just remember, call us on the number that you can see on your screen and pledge your subscription to Babylon Theater's YouTube channel.
This is Sandy Beach, inventor of the Beach Boys. I had rented a house, the backyard of which butted up against the property where the Bab Boys were staying, so that the spies could stay there and watch them. When I arrived at the house to meet the spies for the first time and the door opened, I was shocked at the scene which unfolded before me. A lady at the door had curlers in her hair, and there was the sound of children crying somewhere in the back, and the entire house smelled like burned pancakes. I asked her who she was, and she asked me who I was. So I told her I'm Sandy Beach, inventor of the Beach Boys, etc. And she said, "Oh, Sandy, I'm so glad to meet you. We're the spies that you hired to watch the Babylon Boys." Well, I wasn't sure whether to be pleased or worried.
See, are you looking in that mirror right there?
No.
Are we supposed to be able to see ourselves in that mirror?
That mirror?
Yeah, because it seems kind of cloudy.
You don't want to look at that mirror very long.
I'm not going to, okay.
You don't look there very long.
What happens?
I've seen people just get sucked right into that mirror.
Wow.
I won't look at it for more than a couple of seconds.
Well, why? Is there something?
It's a Babylon Theater mirror, and many people believe that that's the original rabbit hole right there.
Oh,
You
wow.
go down that hole and it may never come out.
Wow.
If you do, it'll probably be through some other doorway.
They keep the rabbit hole here in the Theon?
Oh, as far as I can tell, the whole Babbleverse is a big rabbit hole.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot to learn, bud.
You've been crawling in that? Or
I have
you meet
done.
any other Theonites in the rabbit hole? Or?
Oh, lots of them.
Yeah.
Many of them have died in the rabbit holes.
Wow, I thought it was like a party room.
There are party rooms, but there are also rooms where you go after you've just partied too much.
Well, like the party room of death or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but the bad boys take care of even the Theonites that pass away. They have this kind of feud with the COG people.
What's the deal with that? I thought they were friends.
They used to be friends until Ethel got this. I won't say where she got it, being a gentleman. But she got this idea that the Babylon boys, Greg in particular, were trying to take her name off the title of the book.
Oh, right.
Claim
Well,
that he wrote it.
She sits kind of high on a horse, doesn't she?
She does. I mean, even Oval will tremble when she comes in the room. I've seen it happen. Good morning. Babbleverse here with my colleague Chick Utley from DOA News. We're here to talk about hurricanes, and a few of the others, are we not?
Indeed, we are sitting in here. And I think that's particularly a germane topic, Bab, because I know that DOA Southwest is headquartered in Hurricane.
But why they call it that, I don't know, because there are no hurricanes in the Mojave Desert. But
I like conversations like we're having now because so much is revealed in that.
But there have been several muggings in the lobby already this morning. So the story here today is not the hurricane itself, but the fact that many of the local residents are up in arms about how a hurricane from Mexico can be allowed in our city, causing the air to be humid, like you were in a humidor, or even in Ecuador.
And muggy, which is where some of these muggings come from.
Right. People get very uptight here when they get humid, and they begin mugging each other.
It's just pretend that you wrote that.
Yes.
Say, oh, I'll remember that. And I know time and memory, I'm not going to confuse that, but you remember.
And I blame it really on this incursion from south of the border.
Yeah. And so we're here just as, veteran journalists always welcome us in a situation like this to give their opinions about things.
Hurricanes, no borders.
No borders. What borders?
They go where they will, and they usually leave their trash when they go.
That's right. So we'll be following this story today, and if there's any developments, it becomes less muggy, or if there are more,
or if someone gets mugged.
And I'm certainly, hopefully it's not us, as we go out into the town this morning to talk to some of the people about their opinions on this matter.
Hi, I'm Ralph, taxpayer. Happy to be here with the Babylon Theater boys. I was really pleased with what things came out of the movie they did, and this is a great celebration on that. I think personally it should be dedicated to my grandfather. Albert Wood. If it weren't for him and the whole Loganite thing, I would have never realized that you can be passionate about pretty much anything.
In the Babbleverse, we're all one.
Are you saying we're not really responsible for the kind of person we turn out to be?
I'm just saying there are no walls between us.
Chick Utley here with the DOA Morning Show. One of the headlines that really struck me out, I was almost on base when I struck out with the headline, Queen's Coffin to Lie in Buckingham Palace. And I thought, the royals are getting so much coverage, but how are they different, say, for instance, from another special elite club, and that's the Babylontheon? And it's the same in the Babylontheon. We're supposed to be all special, but we're not all the same. That's kind of like the Rubber family, if you ask me, who just, we're not doing that thing anymore, we're doing this thing. And the Queen and her entourage are just like the taxpayers. We are going to slog this through. We're going to stay together.
Club. I don't think there are any walls anywhere in that place. I always feel like I'm being spied on. Back in 1973, we had to send him away to a camp that he really kind of got into trouble with himself and started to do some drugs that he shouldn't do. He had a lot of those left over, though, when he got back from the camp, and he asked me to hide them from him. So actually, I was the only one who knew where they were.
Hi, I'm Barn Cleatley. I first became part of the Babbleverse as an expert, and I'm still pretty much, that's the way people know me. They go, Barn Cleatley, he's like an expert. You should ask him. And in my expert opinion, this is one heck of a party. And I'm conscious, I'm confused. That's how good this party is.
We embraced drugs. Well, they did more than I think, but I was there.
Did they really take LSD, like he says in the book?
This is the Bold Stranger. It's really good to be at this party, having all the Theonites, everyone, bad boys, all come together. Runto and I made quite a business out of creating trouble and then coming back and solving the trouble. But we could not make the kind of trouble that the Babylon Theater boys made. I mean, we're under Babylon Theater, but we've had our own little franchise forever, and now there's not much left because we can't make enough trouble. Not as much as those boys do. I mean, we still have the school tour and the appearances there, and
I'm thinking about getting that one policy I see on TV, the spy warranty.
Oh, yes.
I think that's a Babylon product.
hello, I'm fellow. I'm happy to be here. I didn't really, expect this. This is nice, and I feel honored. I'm one of the least, happy to be here. Things have since I did that little whatever they asked me to say for the movie. Things have been very good for me, and even some of the people at the bathhouse where the Babylon Town gathers, and we came down all together, like got a bus and everything. It is nice.
That's right, Chick.
Chick Utley, we're taking a break from this great new Babylon Theater movie to encourage you to call the number which I am told you can see on your screen now, and there to pledge to become a subscriber to Babylon Theater's YouTube channel, which is called Modern Babylonian Comics. Remember, what do you think of what you've been seeing? Thanks, Chick. My mentors are Babylon Theater, and I've been watching them since I was a weak child. We don't want your money, we want your support. Please subscribe now. But I gotta tell you, this movie is wonderful, but you should be watching the whole channel. Anyway, keep watching, keep subscribing, and make a comment. Let us know you're there. I couldn't agree more. Remember, the B-Boys are breaking new ground with this production. And remember, viewers, that phone number is for this pledge drive only, and after tonight, it will become a dormant number for a month, and after that, it reverts back to the business offices of Dr. Zog's Sex Wax, who have loaned it to us for a promotional consideration, which they just got. The bad boys said it was cheaper than buying a special number from the phone company. But you ask, why call in at all instead of simply subscribing? Because DOA is majority owned by Babylon Theater, and they said so.
This is Sandy Beach, inventor of the Beach Boys, and I still haven't gotten anything good from the spies I hired. When I went there, they were having a barbecue in the backyard, which is right next to the pool area of the hotel where the Babylon Boys are staying, but my spies were making so much noise that even when I went right up to the hedge that separates us, I couldn't make out any many words from over there. I suspect that it is inside where they are plotting against me.
WHO, COVID end in sight, deaths lowest in 2020. The COVID virus was seen passing by heavily populated sites and never going in. Some have speculated that the disease is running out of money, perhaps on the verge of bankruptcy. In a related event, The Who are going to present a concert soon to help revive the ailing virus. Now back to Bab.
It came down on the company two-seater, and I drove down from southwest of the United States. And we've been following some of the local events in Palm Springs. For those of you who are driving by, there will be the leftovers of the peach cobbler cook-off held here a couple of days ago. Today at noon at the Palm Springs branch of the Palm Springs Bank. And after that, be sure to head over to the city park where they'll be having skateboard events for the adults and OxyContin pickup contests for the kids. And that'll be fun for all. The police will be there to maintain order and keep everything up and up. And then after that, we'll be going down to the down and down part of the night. After 10, adults only, please, at the Eagles Club down the street. And now, the pool interlude. Hi kids, remember me? I am Runto, sidekick of Bone Stranger, an old TV show. Remember this episode? We're sitting in hotel room after Runto climbed in back window because hotel clerk not let Redskins into hotel. Runto and Bone sitting drinking in hotel room when Runto suddenly light fire. Bone Stranger say, Runto, how come you Indians always build the fire in the middle of the room? Runto say, white man build fire in fireplace and stay plenty cold. Indian build fire in middle of floor and heat up like why Runto's sitting with all these clothes? That's because after all these years, it's still hard for Native American in Hollywood to come out of closet. Oh, that's just a joke. It's good to be here. Oh yeah.
And that kind of leads up to your second question: is that do you have a future in Babylon Theater? And here's the deal: I fully intend that we use Theonites for our productions.
Sure.
But that's a shady area too, and we're shady people who can operate in that area, and because Theonites come in response to our need.
Hi, I'm Michelin Rubber, and you knew that. I just couldn't resist following my brother Galvin down here to be at this lavish, wonderful home, and all of these wonderful Theonites who've gathered here in their rightful place at last, in the bosom of our beloved leaders, the Bad Boys. Hi, Bad Boys. Hi, boys. Hi, boys. They're around here somewhere, and when I see them, I'm going to run up and give them a big kiss.
Do you know like the Bone Stranger and Runto?
Oh,
People
yeah,
like
sure,
that?
sure. They were in the original cast, yeah. I was in the original cast. But I got written out of the script at the last minute, but they still paid me full time.
Well,
I hear they're pretty good. They are good.
Call me Joe.
And they get a lot of they get their money from running DOA. They sell
The B-Boys get paid by DOA?
No, they pay DOA. They run it.
Oh, they run it.
own it now, as far as I
Yeah,
can tell.
well, I kept hearing someday those boys are just going to own it.
Yeah,
Is that what they meant?
yeah. Or they're going to buy the farm.
I just felt pretty lucky. Should I just stay at SU? You think I'm better off in DOA or working directly for the bad boy? I could be like an administrative assistant. I could be a wordsmith guy.
You're with that Nathan guy, that Nathan Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan Know Nothing.
He looks like a nerd, but he's a sharp cookie.
Yeah.
He's worming his way into DOA from SU.
Well, wow.
So I'd go.
I can just travel on his coattails.
You should. You did
String
that.
on his shirt.
After you get another chance, I say do anything to get another shot at it.
All right.
Because I would have given up my eye tooth if I had one.
Yeah.
To get in with Nathan.
Or even like a me tooth.
Yeah, me tooth or a you tooth. Yeah. But you tooth better.
You like Nathan, even though he's not DOA.
He's good. But see, I'll tell you the guy I really like is that Professor Aloe Vera.
Vera.
Aloe P. Vera.
He's SU. Yeah.
He's an SU
Man, I'll tell
all
you.
the way, but he's not SU, if you know what I mean.
Well, I know what you mean. And here we go. Is it running?
Yep.
Hello. I'm Dean Brick. I'm the head of the Humanities Department here at Surprise University. I've called in Jason,
Yeah, Jason.
an undergraduate, to discuss his upcoming thesis and why he's failing to be as creative as we had anticipated he would be when we allowed him into the school. Why are you so dull, Jason?
I'm not dull, man. This whole school is dull. I can't get behind it anymore. You know, I've got a career going already that's doing pretty good. I'm part of a band, man. It's a rock and roll band. I'm part of the Plastic Rubber Band.
Oh, that band.
You've heard of Michelin Rubber?
I've heard of the Rubber Family.
Yeah, Michelin Rubber is the leader of the band.
Oh, and so tell me about this so-called creativity you got going on, Jake.
Jason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about it, man. I just play the drums.
That would be a former student, Jason, at Surprise University on why he's not more creative. Thanks.
That's all?
That's all. 3 minutes, 11 seconds.
You got me Because you missed my rehearsal, dude.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. She's doing her. The suspense is so thick that you could cut it with a spoon, Bab. I was out at Pledge Central in the kitchen of this wonderful house. They have a cake out there that you could cut with a napkin. I'm the letterbox down, here with my hero, Babble Snurr. And you've known Greg and Nolan a long time, I understand. Chick Utley and I first met Babylon Theater back in about 1975, when they were making a satire of broadcast news in which they played us. Since then we have been frequent associates and, I like to think, friends. I'm Sandy Beach, inventor of the beach. Oh, what's the use? Nobody cares about me anyway. You'd think if a person was running for president or something, they could get some kind of respect, some coverage of their crusades, but not me. I'm trying to prove that I'm not a liar, but nobody believes me. They only believe the Babylon boys who say I'm a liar. I think we should give them all a big hand for what they've done for us in the past, but my hand will have to do, I guess.
Well, I'm just not sure which hand's the biggest, but
Well,
okay.
but-
Theonites, take it from us. Don't rely on the best boys. But I know some of you best boys are here.
And the best boys don't push some of the Theonites for spare change or cigarettes.
Right.
It's really not that professional. I'm getting some good insights from talking to you, and I know I'm going to feel a lot better after this, especially after I coughed a few times.
Okay. Well, you need to take we could come have another conversation later if you need to rest or.
No, it's not that so much. It's just that darn marijuana I've been smoking lately catches up with my lungs.
I understand.
And I have to.
Is that something that you shifted off of Ralph's stash?
Well, yeah. He hadn't been using it, so I thought,
well,
it's going to waste.
Somebody's got to do something.
Yeah, or it's just waste. I don't want to throw away good material.
No, not that kind of material,
No,
especially
not.
Yeah.
I never really think of myself as being in the Babbleverse.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't think about it too much until
'Cause-
Oval got started on this controversy about who came first, and he sort of, I don't know who, maybe it was the DOA people, got sort of fixated that we lived in a different place.
Well, they even say it on their website, the Bab Boys, that they invented the Babbleverse, or that they created it. And I always thought, well, that sounds like if in my old church, which I say old because it goes way back, a lot farther than the Golly Church, if I'm sorry.
Oh my!
Yes, it does.
I thought we were ancient.
You seem that way now. You've got your. Well, this is another story, but my church, my pastor, when I was a boy, he would never have.
Whoa! Well, never mind, Miriam. Please go on. What church is this, Miriam?
The Southern Baptist Church.
Oh.
The minister would never have put up with someone saying that they created a different universe than ours, and where God is.
We're not even Baptists, and Oval has trouble with that, them saying that.
So he get upset when they call his religion a lie.
I think the whole agreement was we decided to stop using those terms. It's not that we don't believe it, but we don't say that anymore.
I see.
And things got better. It's like, okay, you think you're the top dog, and I think I don't know why we need to talk about dogs, but it's a figure of speech.
Okay.
And it's okay for you to believe that.
And sometimes I felt like I was the only one that had any sense, where they would be yelling at me saying, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, I know more than those guys know. I just know I do. And I would sit back and I would just cry. At least you've got a daughter. Did you ever have any doubt about you knowing more than your husband does, or making more sense?
Well, I certainly think I make more sense, and I think that you then made more sense. But as time's gone on, and that's a figure of speech, I wonder about just how important sense is. Because the Babbleverse, and really eternal doubt, has taught me that what we think is sense sometimes isn't sense, and what we think is the good that good sense will get us isn't all that good.
I have been the only one who ever has brought up the subject of whether we're safe in our own house with him being out in the public eye so much with those firebrand speeches he gives. I mean, I wouldn't believe I never would have believed that he could say some of the things he says in those speeches. I know it's his job, but he really seems to enjoy saying those words sometimes.
And Miriam, and I know that you love him.
Well,
but you're not the minor character anymore. You don't have to be responsible for Ralphie's actions. Just let it go. I'm sorry, that was blunt, but let it go, Miriam.
I have to admit, I don't think I've ever thought of it that way.
You've been straitjacketed, and in the Babbleverse, tanging is perfectly acceptable. You can just go, I'm going to go off to the side.
I'm getting some good insights from talking to you, and I know I'm going to feel a lot better after this, especially after I coughed a few times.
Okay. Well, you need to take we could come have another conversation later if you need to rest. Or
No, that's not that so much. It's just that darn marijuana I've been smoking lately catches up with my lungs.
I understand.
And I have to.
Is that something that you shifted off of Ralph's staff?
Well, yeah. He hadn't been using it, so I thought,
well,
it's going to waste.
Somebody's got to do something.
Yeah, or it's just waste. I don't want to throw away good material.
No, not that kind of material. So, I'm just trying to free your mind.
Well, you got my mind spinning right now, honey. I couldn't follow that last bit at all, but I appreciate you telling me, and I'll certainly will give it some thought when I get home. And maybe I'll start writing the first chapter of my book, or maybe just the prologue.
And I would love, maybe I could do a little endorsement when you get it ready for
Well,
I'd love to see your
I'm sure that would really help me a lot. Gosh, it's been great talking to you. I'm sure we'll see you at the picnic tonight. The boiled egg picnic.
Right. Oh, yes, I'll be there.
I'm not sure if Lou is going to show up. Lou he doesn't get out much anymore. He's kind of crotchety, and he doesn't like to leave the TV for very long.
But that's another nice thing about the Babbleverse, Miriam. Even the loners can get close.
how can you support Babylon Theater? Subscribe to the Modern Babylonian Comics channel on YouTube. It's not that hard. Greg will probably bring this up. Usually that kind of support has some kind of monetary gift attached, but that's not what we're asking for. We're asking for that subscription. Bring it on. Show us you care.
But for now, for Chick Utley and our postgraduate helpers, Rember and the Letterbox, this is Babble Snurr saying good night from the historic first ever subscription pledge drive on DOA.
This is Sandy Beach, inventor of the Beach Boys. Can I please speak to Nolan or Greg?
Hi, Sandy. This is Greg. What's up?
Well, it's hard for me to say this.
Oh, would you like me to say it for you?
No, that's all right. I'm calling to tell you that, well, I've been trying to spy on you all week, and I just can't go on with it.
Well, that's probably for the best. We're leaving today.
No, I've come to the conclusion that I was wrong to do this.
Oh. Were you by any chance connected to the house on the other side of the hedge?
Well, yes, I guess I was. I hired some people to spy on you, and they said they were qualified spies.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to get good spies these days.
I guess so. But I decided I was wrong to be harassing you boys. My manager said I needed a bad guy to give me, well, I'm calling to say I won't harass you anymore.
Well, okay, I'm glad to hear it. You weren't by any chance following us last year when we went to Salt Lake?
No.
Or the year before that in Boise?
No. You boys were just being paranoid, I suppose. That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Well, that's all. I just wanted to call you.
Well, we appreciate that, Sandy. Let's get together sometime.
All right. Well, goodbye.
I'm speaking to Gordon Doug, owner and general manager of the Villa de la Mesa, a franchise of La Mesa International Inns, about his recent experience with Greg and Nolan of Babylon Theater, who chose his establishment in Palm Springs for their most recent annual working retreat. Mr. Doug, how are you?
Better now.
Should I take that answer to mean that you were not so well when Greg and Nolan were with you?
Not necessarily.
Well then, let us get on with your experience hosting the Babylon Boys.
Who?
Nolan and Greg. How did you feel about Greg and Nolan as guests?
Well, I really didn't think of them as guests at all. You see, I learned at the La Mesa Owner Candidate School to treat my guests as a member of the family, at least of somebody's family.
Did they rate well on that basis?
Yes, they seemed like they were definitely members of somebody's family.
I understand that they rented your entire facility.
Well, where do you get all this information?
Were you aware when they booked their stay that they would be having other guests?
No.
Interesting.
What do you mean?
It's just that there's speculation that the Theonites may be invisible to the naked eye.
The who?
They're invented characters. They claim that their characters exist in an alternate reality which they call the Babylon Theon. And that's why they call their characters Theonites.
They're weird.
Did you actually see anyone else there who appeared to know Greg and Nolan?
No, I did not.
They mention anything to you about spies?
Not directly, but I did hear them once talking about it while I was eavesdropping while I happened to be walking past.
Mr. Doug, is there anything you would like to say before we conclude this interview about the B-Boys? We've been talking to Mr. Gordon Doug. Now back to the studio.
I've seen some of the video footage, and there did seem to be other people there. I don't know what to make of it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had already turned off the tape recorder. Just between us, though, Would you ever rent to the Babylon Boys again?
No. Yes. Well, maybe. That's Doug as in Douglas, by the way, not Doug as in Dig.
What?
Can you repeat that?
I don't want to throw away good material.
No, not that kind of material,
No,
especially.
especially.
I didn't mean to make you joke.
No, I'm
I know
listening.
you've been thinking that for a long time.
Let it go.
Oh. Hey, this is Chick Babble and Snur Utley. We're here down in southern California at this place called Palm Springs.
Palm Sprigs, large sprigs, some of them just as high as a roof of a house.
Yeah. And we're down here for just a little getaway. We had to get away.
It's similar, Chick, because just like last time, we're here because Nolan and Greg came down.
Yeah.
They're here doing I don't know, a jam session or
Right.
something. You know how they get their ideas.
Yeah.
So
and
we're here with them.
we
We're
always-
on this side of the pool.
we're always on the wrong side of the pool.